We believe in short, measured steps. The president has brought us, President Museveni has brought us from least developed country. 34 countries in Africa are least developed. He has made us lower middle income at $1,400. But it's insufficient to give us the capacity we need as a country. Things start to change when an economy hits $4,000 per capita. That means that you are able to process 50% of what you export. You actually are able to export 50% of your GDP. You are able to use your minerals because the domestic market has increased. You could drink 30 to 40% of your coffee, of your tea. The domestic market increases. But the president has raised the tempo. He's now put us at $500 billion in 15 years. $500 billion mean that you have quality investment coming in the country, investment in mining to process all minerals and use those minerals to make vehicles, to make medicine and pharmaceuticals, to integrate education and skilling and raise it beyond what we have to industrial labor that is able to innovate and take us to, for example, an economy that produces semiconductors, as we see in developed countries. But for us to hit $500 billion, we must have certain fundamentals in place. The first is energy. My wife and I are processors of an agricultural product. For 10 years, we've spent 1,030 shillings per kilowatt hour against 330,000 shillings per kilowatt hour in Kampala. Why are we doing that? Because we have power lines passing over a factory, but the level of energy is very low. We have to use heavy-duty fuel, or we have to use, now we are actually just planting trees to shave them, to use a boiler so that we can have an alternative source. You can see the struggle for one entity to get the necessary electricity to turn a product into powder, into other products. $500 billion economy requires a minimum of 20,000 megawatts. To get 20,000 megawatts on that River Nile, where you only have now, I think, 3 dams, Nalubale, Budagari, Karuma. These are just 3. You need to raise to at least 60 dams, 50 dams that will produce that kind of megawatts. 20,000 megawatts is what most economies that become high-income countries start with. I haven't talked about the standard gauge rail that should lift, on average, annually, 25 to 30 metric tons of cargo from inland to the sea. I have not talked about 6-lane highways that should give us capacity to take agricultural products from villages into cities. I have not talked to you about aggregation centers that are able to roast, such as coffee, dry other products, chill some products, store them longer, package them, train young people on job to do that. I have not talked to you about high-speed internet, broadband in these places. I have not talked to you about the blue ocean economy, our waters, our lakes, 42,000 square kilometers of fresh water with ability to produce $2 billion worth of exports in fish alone. It's that infrastructure that gives us $500 billion. Now, for us who began with $6 billion and passed it, and now the economy is shooting $16 billion worth of exports, and we're worried about the concentration of those exports in gold, in coffee, we see that the future is aggregation centers. Aggregation centers do something beautiful called agglomeration. It means that an ecosystem develops around that center that is able to bring skill, that is able to bring technology, that is able to now use those centers as manufacturing centers. But energy, transportation, these are critical for us to get to that economy.